Celtics, they've already made a splash this offseason. They stunned Kendrick Perkins, trading Marcus Smart to the Memphis Grizzlies and landing Kristaps Porzingis. So as we say hello again to Tim Bontemps, Tim, what can we expect as we continue to count down towards the official beginning of free agency from the Boston Celtics?
Well, Malik, as you said, the Celtics made their big move of the summer most likely last week when before the draft they traded Marcus Smart and got back Kristaps Porzingis and those 2 future first-round picks from the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, the Celtics do potentially have an option to extend Kristaps Porzingis. Brad Stevens yesterday at the press conference he had in Boston for Porzingis' arrival said that there's still a chance they could get an extension done there. That's something to watch. There's also the fact that Malcolm Brogdon, who was nearly in an original construction of the Kristaps Porzingis trade, could the Celtics do something with him because they're going to be a very expensive team as of now? And part of the reason the Celtics might want to do something with Malcolm Brogdon is because they also have to figure out what's going on with restricted free agent forward Grant Williams, who's been a key part of their playoff runs over the past several seasons. And as you know, a floor spacing forward who can defend multiple positions, a tough, versatile player. Guy like that, and Grant Williams is an asset in the playoffs. He's also a guy that could potentially have interest from several teams in free agency. So it'll be very interesting to see what his free agency looks like as he heads into restricted free agency and if that impacts what happens with Malcolm Brogdon. But the Celtics, with Kristaps Porzingis in tow, now have to try to continue to retool this roster as it's going to look a lot different without Perk's favorite guy, Marcus Smart, on the team moving forward.
Tim Bontemps, thank you so very much. He mentioned Kendrick Perkins, so let's bring him back into this conversation because the Celtics, their season that was cut short by the Miami Heat, many figured when the Milwaukee Bucks were eliminated in the first round that the Celtics, they would have the clear path to be the ones representing the Eastern Conference. Perk, didn't happen that way. So do you like...
Do we have a tissue?
Do you like the way somewhere that the Celtics are trending right now?
No, I don't. I don't, because we don't know what's going to happen with Malcolm Brogdon, right? We don't know if he's going to be available for the regular season. And we haven't seen Kristaps Porzingis on the big stage. We know what Marcus Smart is going to do. We knew what he brought to the table. We knew he wasn't afraid of the big moment. He done been in multiple conference finals. He didn't help take this team to the finals. We know what he brought on both ends of the floor. His decision-making got better. We haven't seen Porzingis on the big stage, and that matters. We haven't seen him under pressure. Well, we have, but he didn't elevate when he was playing with Luka Doncic, and he was the second guy, and all eyes were on him, but he couldn't rise to the occasion. But all of a sudden, he moved out the way. Jalen Brunson come in, they go to the Western Conference Finals. I understand he had a great season playing meaningless games last year for the Washington Wizards. It's a lot different when you got pressure in the city of champions and with the Boston Celtics, huh?
He did build his value, though.
Yeah, it's easy to build.
But here's what I'm saying, and that's I agree with you because his problem was, I didn't want to be the number 2 guy. Well, guess what? He's going to be the number 3 guy now at best.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, listen, people talk about how harsh the media is in Boston, the local media. He haven't even got a taste of it. I know he played with the Knicks, but it's a lot different than playing with the Celtics. They got 17 championships. It's a different atmosphere. I need to see him when he's under pressure, how he's going to deliver. As of then, I got to see it. I'm not buying it.
Do you feel higher, or are you higher or lower on the Celtics and Perk?
Than Perk? I'm a little higher. I'm a little higher than Perk. Look, I didn't love the Smart Porzingis swap either. I said it made me a little I'm uncertain about how it'll work, and I'm not sure I trust Porzingis.
They got the restaurant back there, the toilets.
Yeah, I understand. But they're still really, really good. Milwaukee has some big decisions today. Yep. Philadelphia is in a little bit of flux. Yeah, Cleveland's coming, New York's coming, other teams are coming, but Boston is still really good. They got the 2 J's. I think they need to answer some questions about their playmaking. Marcus Smart was maybe their best passer. They now have 3 centers, and they're going to try to play 2 of them together, and we'll see how that goes. The Brogdon question is there. The Grant Williams question is there. They got questions, but these are nice questions to have. The Celtics are still awesome, but their identity is now going to change, and we just have to see how that looks.
Vince?
No, I think I agree. Marcus Smart was like, well, that is your identity. That is the guy when things were going left, you knew he would step in, whether it was just by action defensively or having to say whatever. Who's now going to be the voice? Who's going to be the guy? Who's going to be the head of the snake to bring this team back together when things aren't going their way?
You remember 2 years ago when everything was looked like it was going south for the Celtics? under Ime Udoka, and it seemed like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum wasn't on the same page.
You were big on trading them.
Well, and I'm still on it. and Marcus Smart, you remember he came out in the media and he called them out about their decision making. Mm-hmm. And right then, 2 weeks later, all of a sudden, everything turned. They had the best run in NBA history. You cannot replace things like that in the locker room. And we talk about how valuable Draymond Green is, not just on the court, but in the locker room, his leadership. Those things matter.
Tim, what are you hearing about James Harden and Miami?
Well, Malika, James Harden's interest in Miami, from the Heat perspective, is because of how it could potentially impact the Damian Lillard situation. Now, we've been talking about Damian Lillard's situation now, it feels like, for years, right? For as long as these discussions have been going on. But the Heat are watching the situation very closely because, as we all know, Miami's been sitting there with a package of players and picks that could potentially get them Damian Lillard in a trade. However, as Brian Winters talked about earlier on this show, if the Sixers move James Harden in a deal to, say, the Clippers and get back young player like Terrence Mann, some expiring contracts, some draft picks, you put that together with Tyrese Maxey, arguably the best young player on all of these teams that we're talking about, suddenly the Sixers are very live in any discussion of potential Damian Lillard trade. So rather than really focusing in on James Harden himself for Miami, this is much more about the Heat surveying the landscape and seeing if there's somebody else who could potentially cut in front of them in line in a potential Damian Lillard trade down the road.
It is time to spin the wheel. Again, you want to get us started?
Yeah, you know.
All right, here's how it's going to work.
Of course
Spin
I
the wheel.
do.
24 seconds on the clock to talk about a team in the East.
loafers and be behind the desk the whole time.
Let's get it.
Look,
Go for it.
People, one day you're going to see me doing something like this, but
Just
not today.
spin.
Hey, this is my moment. We got time. Okay, let's see who we gonna get for. Oh, what kind?
It's only right. It's
the Nets. Whoa, let's go. Okay, look. So this is my thing with the Nets. Mikal Bridges. He is a potential superstar. I think he proved that he was a star. I need to see him build on it from the beginning of the season to the end. They just shipped out Joe Harris, but I like this team. They got a young core. They're very good. They have space. I think they got some of the stuff that they gave away when they traded all those guys away to get James Harden. They got some of it back. So I like where they are. I think Sean Marks, he's built the team before. I think he can build it out again.
Your moment is over. It is now Vince Carter's
My moment is never over. My moment is never over.
DC, who you got?
Did he get Richard again?
No, he got the pick. We're going to go with the pick.
Wait a second. He got me again.
Oh,
We got me again. No. Stop. Wait.
I'm gonna go.
No.
I'm gonna go.
You're going to talk about the Cavs. Talk about the Cavs. Screw Magic.
All right, the Cavs, the young Cavs. They're on the cusp. They have an opportunity. I still think with this team here, they still need a veteran. Mm-hmm. And I mean another. Do you agree with that?
They need another adult.
They need another adult.
They could have used Kevin Love.
They could have used Kevin Love, but I think they're right there. They're athletic. Donovan Mitchell has another year with this team that can grow. I like the Cavs to be sneaky good this year if they can add an adult in the room.
All right.
There we go.
Beat the buzzer and everything.
Perk up next. I got it.
Beep. Timber, his snack spell.
You know the people in the airport? That's what Perk got. We got to get you one of those scooters.
Bam! I wrote it. That's why I want to talk about the Raptors, because I need to find out what is going on. Nick Nurse got fired. Fred VanVleet is hot on the market right now. What are you going to do with Pascal Siakam? He is the most attractive piece to me. Averaging 26, 7, and 6 this past season. Should have been an all-NBA player. They have a lot of questions there. Are you going to build around Scotty Barnes? I thought he took a step back next year. It's a lot of questions. They could get back a lot of assets and build for the future.
Well done, Perk. Back low. Your turn.
I'm going to actually spin the wheel on my
thanks.
rig the wheel.
Oh, thanks. You're such a professional.
I am. Thank you.
And
let's go.
spin again.
Come on. I wanted to hear his thoughts. They're better than
He's getting the Hornets.
Pacers.
Bucks.
Okay.
Look, one of the biggest stories in the league, Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez. I think there's definitely some anxiety in the Bucks front office that the Houston Rockets are going to come big for Brook Lopez. And then you got a tough decision to make. At age 35, is he worth that money? He's essential to our identity. Or can we get by? Remember, Brook Lopez missed most of the season 2 seasons ago. They won a ton of games. Can they get by without him? Can they fill his spot with the mid-level exception? I expect Chris Middleton to come back, but they are always on the clock with Giannis.
I feel bad
Well
for all
done,
the teams because you got all these teams like the Hawks, the Hornets,
But we still got one more
the Pacers.
Well,
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.